Okay, hi to everyone who's watching the replay. There are some new people in here. So hi, my name is Quinn. Watch the welcome video. I will tag you. Hi to everyone who's watching the replay. I am on a little bit later, actually 3 hours later from 5 p.m. I was with my family today. As the last post, you saw the picture of my family at Apple Hill. It's in Northern California in Placerville. And I am now have had time to settle down, write down what I'm going to speak about today on Self-Love Live at 5. So, I'm going to talk about what's loudest on my heart and mind, and it's experiencing a funeral. This is not my first one. However, it has been a while, and I've never been to a burial ceremony before, so it was a different experience. And I had also learned after attending a funeral yesterday of another person who I knew in the beginning of my personal growth journey had passed, and she had just reached out to me to talk about, my health experience with precancer cells in my uterus in April. So I was completely shocked. So let's get into the first part, talking about the funeral. Then I'll talk about what's been coming up for me with learning about the passing of the other person. So the funeral that I went to yesterday was to support a friend that I've known for since 2016. We've kept in touch over the years. Hi, Kanisha. And her father had passed, and we started really talking a lot in this past year as I was going through tough times with my brother being in the hospital with agnoxic brain injury. So a couple months, actually shortly, like maybe a month ago, a couple weeks ago, her father had agnoxic brain injury. And so he passed. And so I was there for support. She invited me. I'm there for support in a heartbeat, for sure. Absolutely. So it had us communicating more during these rough times, because we were able to really honor our loved ones being in the hospital with an agnoxic brain injury. So it definitely was triggering, because as I'm in there and, the funeral service, experiencing the funeral service, you know how they have that screen and there's a picture of the person who passed and then the year that they've lived, and, there's like a slideshow, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so triggering, because I'm imagining, what if like this is something that we would experience with my brother. So I was just letting myself feel the emotions. And long story short, when everything was done, including the burial service, it helped me kind of like have this perspective become even louder, because I was watching my friend express it's such a weird, surreal experience. It's like, wow, is my dad really in that casket? Wow, is this really happening? And it's like, at the same time, there's sadness. And she expressed, and at the same time, she knows that he's free. She knows that, he feels like he really won in life, because they're an immigrant family, and making it here to America was already such a big win. And that he is just so happy to have had so much love with the family and having the energy of people around him as we were honoring his life. So yeah, there was that. And of course, talking amongst people, we talked about spirituality. We talked about how we believe that there is a life after death. I don't know what you believe. I definitely believe that we all have a soul. We all have a spirit. And in this lifetime, our spirit has chosen, our souls have been assigned to this body, and we're going to do our best to take care of this body, live the best life that we can in this physical body. And, life is full of experience of living and passing away, and our spirits moving on. So that perspective was definitely louder, and it helped me think about my brother. And this part is so hard, because selfishly, of course, it's like we all want him to improve, fight for him. And also at the same time, what if his destiny, what if he chooses to live on? And And when I remove my selfishness and when I just think about love and I think about him, all I really, really, truly want is for him to be happy and for him to be granted the desires that he wishes, whether it's to like be in peace and like kind of like move on, or to fight for his life. So he's not in a state where he can communicate. So I'm doing the best that I can to be like an open channel. And what that means to me is like me taking care of myself, creating as much space as possible so my intuition can be really clear, and I can move accordingly to what my intuition is saying. Hi, Anastasia. Hi, see you, by the way. So, and it just confirmed, you know what, like whatever that feels good in my gut, as far as like how to best support him, I'm going to continue doing that. And that's the best thing that I can do right now. And everyone else in my family is doing the best that they can. So yeah, that's my experience as far as like what came up for me so loudly attending a funeral service yesterday, supporting a friend. And then learning about someone that I actually knew in a certain part of my life, definitely put me in a shock. It's like I came back to Sacramento, I look on Facebook, and the first thing that I see is this person's brother posting a picture of them too and talking about how he can't believe that she's gone. They're like, he's going to miss his best friend and gone too soon and all that. I'm just like, what? So what stuck out to me about that experience is that I'm just so grateful that we connected in that period of time. And I'm just so grateful that I experienced so much kindness from her. Like I was thinking about all my memories with this particular individual that passed, and all I can remember is positive experience. She was the first one that I met. She was the first person that I met that was like so positive and loving and genuine. And I just remember her showing me like, first time I was introduced to angel cards, and she pulled an angel card for me. And I remember her she was all about like healthy eating. So like these eggplant lasagna eggplant done with coconut oil. It's just so awesome that I got to experience kindness from her. And so what stuck out to me about learning about this experience is that, what we leave behind, and what I for sure believe, and from my experience, is that the best thing that you can provide to someone or like give to someone is pure kindness. And think about it. If you think about people who have shown you kindness, there's names that immediately pop up. And perhaps it's not a lot, but it's a few. Because that is how precious it is. Because a lot of times we experience more of the opposite. Judgment. People not having enough space to be genuinely interested in you and genuinely cheering you on, being your cheerleader. So kindness speaks so much louder than anything else. And I know that's an extension of love, right? That's an extension from the love area, showing people kindness. And it just validates to continue to be kind no matter who is treating you so in such an unkind way, with so much hate, because the people who you treat kindness, that leaves an imprint on them. Oh my gosh. So yeah, wanted to bring about that message, and I know easier said than done. So that goes into the conversation of how are you treating yourself well? Because yeah, it's hard to be kind to people when you're having a really stressful day and you're beating yourself up and you're feeling down about yourself. So it really goes back to that center of what I talk a lot about, is living the self-love lifestyle. Not only being kind to yourself in here, but having a practice so that you can release in healthy ways, so that you can have a safe space to express, feel, process, and continue to have this growth experience with yourself. And only you can be responsible for that experience. Only you can choose that experience. And of course, choose the support to help you have that experience with yourself. Okay. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. And questions came up for me through this experience of death and passing and moving on about life. Because what came up loudly was also at peace. We want people to be at peace. And are we wanting peace for ourselves? Are we living a life of peace to model that to people? That's another powerful thing that you can do for somebody else, is to be in the example of what is so important in life. Peace of mind, living a life of peace, so that no matter what happens to you or your loved ones, there's less regrets. And that's another thing that comes up when you learn about someone's passing, right? You regret everything that you didn't do and you think about what you should have done. So let these experiences leave an imprint in your mind and heart, body, and spirit to live a life of peace. And I know that it can seem impossible, and I'm here to tell you right now, it is possible to feel more of that than how you currently feel right now. So here are the questions to help you. First question I have on here is, are you at peace with your life? Or maybe there's certain parts of your life that you have experienced peace and you would like to experience that moment more often, right? So elaborate on that. What does a fulfilling and peaceful life look like to you? What type of decisions are you making every single day? All right, so what does it look like? What kind of decisions are you making? What are you choosing every day? And from your day-to-day life right now, how far away are you from it? It's very important to recognize the gap. Because if you recognize the gap, then that means there's a chance to close that gap just a tiny bit each day. So with that said, I have a question here that says, what are you willing to start trading off to gain more peace in your life? So now to support that question, I'm going to share a personal experience that I can recall. I started my self-love journey. I started choosing me more, meaning like I chose to spend more time with myself and choosing healthy outlets, practices that help me connect more with me to take care of my emotional and mental health, with journaling, meditating, video recording, like starting to record in that way. And I remember, we get sidetracked. And then I remember a friend at that time asked me, how many people are you meeting up this week? Where's the time that you have for yourself? And I was just like, oh my gosh. Apparently I shared my calendar with them or something, or like my plans for the week, or like maybe sharing with them like how many people that I'm connecting each week. And I looked at my Google Calendar, and that's what I use, because if I don't have anything on there, I will forget. So when I plan things with people, it's definitely on my Google Calendar. So I remember looking at my Google Calendar and I was just like, holy shit. Like, I'm meeting up with someone for coffee, lunch, and this is all for networking and connecting with people, because I was in my life where I was just like wanting to connect with people. And if people invited me to like catch up and get to know them, I would say yes. But I feel like I was the one initiating this. But anyways, that's besides the point. The point is, I saw myself meeting with someone like 4 or 5 times in a week. And I was like, wow, you are right. Where is the time that I have to myself? So from there, because I became aware of that, I was willing to trade off hanging out with people. I was willing to trade off time with other people so that I can actually have myself in my Google Calendar. So from that point to this day, I make sure that there's empty slots in my day for me. And if I was to initiate, or someone asked me to go hang out or have lunch or coffee or catch up or something like that, I will make sure that it is not on a day where I'm already having plans, or not a day where I'm having that time to myself. Like, that time to myself is golden. I will pick another time. I don't care if it's a couple weeks out or whatever. I will not schedule something in where I feel like now my day feels overwhelmed and I don't have no time to myself. So that's an example of how you can start trading something off so that you can gain a practice with the self to create more peace. And yes, of course, to have peace, is it chaotic inside? So this is where the self-love practices come in, to experience that healing experience, therefore having more peace. Because I'm telling you, through that process, you will find clarity. And clarity leads you making decisions to have more of a peace of mind, So self-love practice helps you process to gain clarity. And then from that clarity place, you can make decisions that align with your peace of mind. Okay. So, Kenesha, I'm so happy to see that you've been on here this whole time. Hey, and I don't know whoever else is watching, but yes, I'm here every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Self-Love Live at 5, okay? And I have always a personal share about my own personal self-love journey to share with you all. So it's always going to come from real experiences, and there's always lessons, there's always tips, there's always questions that I have for you so that you can experience the same thing of what I'm experiencing. Okay? And if you ever have any questions, that's the opportunity to come on live. So I can answer it live. And if not, I can answer it later too for anyone who's watching the replay. If you ever have a request, you're going through something that's stressful and you would like for me to talk about that next week, there is a form up there for you to fill out and submit. And then there's other self-love support up there too. And yeah, if you would like to get on a call because you're interested in one-on-one support, that is up there as well. Okay. So any questions before I go? I'm about to go eat dinner. Yeah. And if you don't have one and you think of one later, feel free to come back and just drop it in the comment box. Okay. All right, everyone, sending you so much love. Thanks for listening. And I hope that was helpful to you for your week, for your self-love journey. And I will see you next week on Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, sending you all the love. Toodles. Bye. Talk to you later. Bye, 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 bye. And Kadisha, if you're still on, congrats on your business, on your co-working spot. I was looking at your website. I was checking you out, okay? Congrats, congrats, congrats. I'll definitely keep it in mind for anything that I would personally need in the future and, with the nonprofit that I'm connected with. So yeah, sending you so much love. Congrats. Okay. Bye, everyone. Bye.